how woke and terrible the book is. If they inject like that book into this movie, it will be a disaster.
Yeah. I think they've shaved off $100 to $200 million box office with terrible marketing. When you talk about,
she shaved off her eyebrows.
I was about to say, damn it, you said shaved off. I just had this picture up here.
Renegade Online.
Ariana needs to eat something. Like we're all sitting here thinking, please, girl, please,
You know,
eat
look,
a slice of cheese, something.
You've got a point there. And that's one of the things that has bothered the ever-loving garbage out of me with this whole thing. Cynthia Erivo, who very hard on the eyes. Ariana Grande, I'm worried about her. Like, legit. Like, she looks bad. Like,
something's wrong.
She is suffering from something, and I'm not trying to be flippant or be mean about that. Like, I'm genuinely concerned for another human being because she does not look healthy.
And Valiant, what is up with the marketing where they're crying in every single interview? They like hug and talk about how much they mean to each other, and they cry, and it's like, how much can you stand of this?
Their whole, like, they did a video interview. I got to go back and find it. I had to reboot the computer right before we started. I was having some tech issues with StreamYard, and I think I lost it. But there's an interview where, like, she and Cynthia Erivo sitting there, they're holding hands in the chair, and they're talking, and it's like, what?
They look like they're sharing childhood traumas with each other. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it really, like,
the movie.
It sounds like it's put on. It's another performance just for the marketing and interviews.
Yeah,
I think it is, but my concern with the way that they're rolling into this marketing issue is that there's a lot of normies out there, right? Mm-hmm. There are the diehard fans. Like, for example, my wife is a perfect example of who I'm talking about. People that are going to show up to go see this regardless. Mm-hmm. My wife is a music teacher. She's been a music teacher for 20-something years. She runs a private music school. What she teaches primarily is voice. She's a classically trained vocal teacher, opera, classical Broadway, stuff like this. She's going to go see this movie with all of her musician friends just because of what it is. Mm-hmm. My wife doesn't represent the vast majority of the movie-going public out there, obviously. It's very niche for her. That being said, there's also the next layer of people who are going to go see this movie who are fans of the musical.
The me's of this world.
Right, exactly. The question is that A, are there enough to justify what they've done with this, breaking it up into 2 films? Because this is just part 1.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Part 1. It's terrible.
Oh, yes.
which we're all afraid. We're all afraid that they're going to enter, because Steph went over one night how woke and terrible the book is that the Broadway musical went away from. It was like, no, like it's too progressive for Broadway type deal, like 20 years ago. And if they inject like that book into this movie, which it sounds like maybe they're going to do in the second part, it will be a disaster.
Yeah.
Correct. I think they're going to do the second part because they've already confirmed they're going to do all kinds of original music in the second half. Well, Lottie frickin' Da. Who in the world wants the original music? You want to go watch Wicked to get Wicked.
I can't. I guess I can't go at them too hard. We all know that when you take classically perfect films, you add 45 minutes to it and new soundtracks by Lin-Manuel Miranda, it always turns out great, just like The Little Mermaid. Everything works out perfectly every time. No, so here's Cynthia Erivo. This is Elphaba. And
the bestest Elphaba ever.
Yes,
so says she.
This is the one that got upset that fans edited the poster, right? So I know you saw this story. I mean, this is what they put out there. It had absolutely zero impact. It had none of the mystique of the original poster.
No.
I think
the charm of the original poster. The original poster is charming.
No. But I really, really wonder how this is going to play out, but good luck with it, Hollywood.
I think it's still going to do well, but I think they've shaved off $100 to $200 million box office with terrible marketing. When you talk about,
she shaved off her eyebrows.
I was about to say, damn it, you said shaved off. I just had this picture up here.
Oh my God!
Sydney Sweeney exposed. It's 1 for 1 now.
Oh Good
Like,
Lord.
is she going out of her way to make herself look worse with the nose rings and the shaved eyebrows? And I'm sorry, lady, you don't have much to work with to begin with, and then you're doing that on top of it.
Well, her ear appears to have been attacked by shrapnel.
So Valiant, I didn't realize this. The Cynthia Erivo or however you say her last name thing, is like, it's so broad. My niece Isabella, my 17-year-old niece, was talking to me about it, and she was like, did you see that Target commercial, how annoying she is in it? So like, it's reached like even Gen Z, like it's reached like younger audiences, like the poster thing.
Oh, the poster thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the problem, right? Hollywood actors out there, they love to beclown themselves. They think that they are so far above and beyond the rest of us plebes down here at the bottom, the people that pay their bills. And they look down on us. They condescend to us. And when a fan out there makes an edit of a movie poster that the fan edit was better than the movie poster for obvious reasons, and then the actors take it personally and say, I wanted to look at you and the camera and all this kind of stuff. It's like,
she was going on and saying like they were erasing my identity from the poster, and it came off so friggin' narcissistic. One, there's like she's so desperate that her image is seen because that, but also the fact that she was wanting to twist it into this racially offensive thing, that it's just another black woman being erased from a prominent thing. And it's such a stretch. But again, that's her trying to make it all about herself. Okay, and bringing it all, and then also wanting to go out of her way to be a victim, and then get those, attention, victimhood, oppression points. And we can see it from a mile away. It's just exposing what an incredible narcissist she is. And I didn't know who the heck she was before all this. She did that. It's like, well, I don't have a very good opinion of you now. Gosh.
Well, they're gonna try to do that with the film as well. So the musical is not about race. But I guarantee you by the end of the second film, this is going to be about race and racial tensions. It's so unfortunate for them because of their new guidelines. They had to hire Ariana Grande to play the other one. And
Glinda.
Well, she's not white. Galinda is not white.
Yeah. Well, but that's kind of been Hollywood's mantra the last several years. And we've talked about that here on this channel. And I'll bring it up again because I know we've got a lot of new viewers in the last few weeks. I think we've got like 3,000 new subs in the last 2 weeks. But I mean, one of the things that Hollywood, Disney, and all of this, we've seen these from leaked documents. We know that these DEI departments, the diversity, equity, and inclusion folk out there, one of the things that they do, one of the hat tricks they do to raise the ESG score, to put themselves in better light to their left-wing superiors and gods out there.
He's going to bring up the Pedro effect, folks, the Pedro Pascal effect. Go ahead, Valiant. I know where you're going with this.
No, I'm not bringing the Pedro effect. What I was going to say was, it was just like hiring another story we got tonight, Rachel Ziegler. Somebody called her from Disney. They hire people like Rachel Ziegler because, as they've stated, this is not my words, these are DEI managers at these big Hollywood studios, is that we'll get somebody like a Latina actress because white audiences will accept them as white.
That's the Pedro effect.
This is how they think. Exactly. Yeah. This is how they think. This is how the broken mindset thinks. And we'll talk about this in a bit tonight, but it is amazing how much this thinking is being rethought following election night last Tuesday. And we're already seeing it.
That's why Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. That's why Ariana Grande is Galinda.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
As someone in the chat just said, they're white passing, where
yes,
they can justify trying to cast them in a white role, but they're just ethnically diverse enough to, give them the feeling that they ticked the box.
Yeah. And I don't have an issue. I mean, you want to cast, look, I didn't have anything like when I heard, put it this way, when I heard that Ariana Grande was being cast as Glinda, I was like, okay. Okay. I mean, look, as much as I don't much care for Ariana Grande, one thing I will give her credit for is that she does have the vocal chops to do that role.
She had chopsticks.
Well,
and some meat on it.
She looks like a chopstick. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Again, I don't have an issue with her playing Glinda. I mean, I don't think she's gonna. It's one of these things to when you put the original cast on Broadway, they're always going to be the cast. Everybody's always going to be compared to them. Okay, everybody's always going to compare every Glinda going forward to Kristen Chenoweth. Everybody's going to compare every Elphaba out there to Idina Menzel. Okay, that's just how it works. Just like the first stage play I ever did was My Fair Lady. Okay, I was Henry Higgins. Everybody compares every performance of that to the great Rex Harrison. So Hollywood people today, they want to kind of reinvent the wheel. I was like, no, I'm going to do Rex Harrison because that's what the audience is looking for, right? So but again, I don't know what she's going to look like doing this yet. From what we've seen from the trailer, okay, but I mean, she just doesn't look healthy.
No.
She doesn't look good. And then the other side of this equation is Cynthia Erivo, who is already making it very plain to audiences that she feels oppressed, she feels attacked, she feels slighted, she feels this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, I think the casting director made a mistake here, because how much is this going to cost the movie? And to what Pro's point is, we've talked about this before, is that it's not about what the movie ultimately makes. It's about the economic opportunity cost of what they could have made had some of the actors just shut up.
Yes.
You know?
Well, and not to mention, Valley, we talked about this on our channel Monday. My biggest issue with her, look, 37 is not old, but it's too old to play an 18 or 19-year-old. It just is. And
yeah.
I can't buy
they're starving themselves. And it's so that's why I think they won't eat food. Like they're trying to look like they're 18, and you just need to eat some food, please.
They both look like they're in their 30s.
Begging you, give them a cheeseburger, darn it. Give them a freaking cheeseburger. We can't stand this anymore.
There's nothing wrong with looking like, you're in your 30s and 40s. I'm 45 years old. I'm fine with that. But I mean, if you're going to tell me that you're trying to hire actors to play people that should look teens to early 20s.
I mean, you want to keep it within 5, 7, 8 years,
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.